Trump just issued unprecedented order to the U.S. Navy that hasn't happened since World War II. This is a game changer. Over the last several weeks, tensions have been high with North Korea. Kim Jong-un is playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the world. This tiny dictator has been threatening the world with nuclear war for years. However, under the previous administration, Kim Jong-un's antics were left unchecked. Now, President Trump is pushing back against the North Korean madman, and his latest move is unprecedented. Last week, President Trump sent an aircraft carrier group toward the Korean peninsula. Of course, this had everyone talking that this was a clear to Kim Jong-un. Well, it seems the message was lost on Kim Jong-un since he paraded his arsenal to the world last weekend. Trump is not one to back down, and according to news reports his latest proves that. It appears that Trump is upping the ante and has sent 2 more carrier strike groups to the tense region. According to the South Korean media outlet, Yonhap News, these carriers are indeed heading that way. Here is an excerpt from the roughly translated article. A U.S. nuclear-powered aircraft carrier is expected to enter the eastern seaboard on June 25 to curb large-scale provocations by North Korea. When he arrives at the Eastern Sea, Calvin Sue, who is sailing toward the Korean peninsula, plans to carry out a military force demonstration in the form of military pressure on North Korea through intensive U.S.-ROK joint training. A senior government official said Thursday that the United States is negotiating a joint exercise involving our government and Calvin's carrier flyers, and that Calvin Johnson will enter the East Coast. Originally, Calvin Sue was expected to depart from Singapore and arrive in the Korea Theater of Operations, KTO, on April 15 to 16. However, Calvin Sue said he did not choose the shortest distance to the Korean peninsula. According to a report by the U.S. Navy on social network services, SNS, Calvinson passed through the Sunda Strait in Indonesia, southwest of Singapore, on the 15th. The media source does say that the location of the 3 aircraft is unusual. Sources also mentioned that this demonstrates its commitment to deter North Korea from nuclear war. We expect it to be completely different from the previous administration. However, there is something else that makes this move interesting to note. Besides regular training operations in the past, this is the first time since World War II that these many carrier strike groups have been deployed to the same area. It is obvious that this administration is taking a much different approach than the previous one. The Obama administration regularly played footsies with our enemies, but President Trump is not doing that. Trump is showing the world that he means business. Kim Jong-un has not budged and continues to taunt the world with his potential weapons. President Donald Trump and his advisors realize that it is now time to show our strength and readiness. We cannot allow this madman to continue his reckless ways. None of us want war, and the only way to deter that is to strength. I hope that Kim Jong-un heeds this warning and backs off quickly. Quickly. True cost of Moab revealed. It's a lot less than libs claim. Ever since the United States Air Force dropped the massive ordnance air blast bomb in Afghanistan last week, liberals have been screaming about how it was a waste of millions of dollars that could have been used for something else. Well, just like most things liberals scream about, they were dead wrong on the price. When news first broke about the bombing, the more unhinged started claiming the mother of all bombs cost as much as a staggering $314 million. Then, some news outlets claimed the bomb cost roughly $16 million per unit, but the price is actually much lower, Business Insider reported. In fact, the bomb reportedly only cost $170,000 per unit. An Air Force official explained that unlike most ordnance for the military, this bomb was built in-house, which would significantly reduce the cost. The New York Times reported that the Air Force had not indicated how much it cost to develop the bomb. It was also unclear exactly how many of these things exist, something the Air Force has also declined to comment on for obvious reasons. The Daily Caller noted that when adjusted for inflation, remember, These bombs were designed and built back in 2003. The cost rises to around $227,000, which is still a far cry below what has been reported by most major media outlets. When the Moab was being built, the Air Force used parts that had already been ordered, which drastically cut down on the cost of building the bomb. Should the Air Force choose to produce more of these epic weapons, it might cost more than $227,000, but that wasn't immediately clear. We don't have a replacement cost for the Moab, or estimated procurement cost because we haven't put together a contractor requirement, Air Force spokeswoman Ann Stefanek explained. If liberals are going to complain about the American military using a really big bomb to kill terrorists, they at least need to get their facts straight before they let the tears flow. Share this on Facebook and Twitter and let us know why you think the Air Force chose to use the Moab last week. What do you think of the price of the Moab? Scroll down to comment below. Viewers spot what may be fake missiles during NK parade. During its Day of the Sun parade over the weekend, the North Korean military displayed what it wanted the world to believe was its terrible and fierce weapons. There was just one problem. It appeared to many onlookers that those weapons did not look exactly right, in fact, they looked fake. Several experts also noted that some of the missiles paraded appeared to be false. BBC footage captured a procession of vehicles carrying missiles passing behind reporter John Sudworth where some of the rockets' nose cones appeared to be off-kilter. Managing Director of Specialist Service NK News Chad O'Carroll told the UK Sun that he doubted the weapons were real after he noticed the nose cone in one of the final group of missiles in the parade wobbled quite noticeably. Senior analyst at the Korean Defense Network Lee Il-woo also suspected the missiles were not real. He told Agence France Presse, "I suspect they all might be mock-ups aimed to impress the outside world," The Sun reported. Aerospace engineer Marcus Schiller told ABC the missiles were a fraud. "My opinion is that it's a big hoax," the former Rand Corporation military analyst said. He told the BBC that close inspection of the missiles revealed there were many details that are plainly wrong, indicating that there might be something wrong with the whole program. He explained that the missiles in the parade all had minor differences in detail that added up to major differences in configuration and design. Therefore, Schiller concluded that the missiles displayed were mock-ups and Pyongyang does not have a functioning intercontinental ballistic missile. U.S. government experts, who spoke on anonymity, agreed with Schiller. "Our assessment is that what we are looking at is most likely simulators used for training purposes," they told NBC News. "It's not surprising to find a socialist regime using fake missiles to make the world think they have a successful military." HTUK Express. Share this story on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you think about the missiles North Korea displayed over the weekend. What do you think of these experts' opinions? Scroll down to comment below. Trump to speak at NRA meeting. First president since Reagan to give speech there. In Atlanta on April 28, President Donald Trump will continue the legacy of the great President Ronald Reagan when he does something no president in 34 years has done. Trump will address the 2017 Leadership Forum of the National Rifle Association, according to Bloomberg Politics. Trump will be the first president since Reagan in 1983 to directly address the organization. The NRA endorsed Trump during his 2016 campaign and provided considerable financial support, so he likely will receive a warm welcome, according to Breitbart. The NRA is honored to have the president address our annual meeting at the Leadership Forum. "We're excited to once again have a president who respects the Second Amendment," NRA spokeswoman Jennifer Baker said. Trump's love for the NRA's mission has been more than a pocketful of promises. His recently confirmed Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch is a Second Amendment advocate, according to the Huffington Post. Trump has also been dismantling former President Barack Obama's gun restriction overreach, eliminating a law that denied due process to roughly 4.2 million Social Security beneficiaries whose finances are handled by third parties such as relatives, friends or guardians. The Obama ban also included certain people with mental illnesses so broadly and poorly defined that someone unable to manage his or her finances due to anxiety, anorexia or even a long-term illness could lose Second Amendment rights. And Trump's new Attorney General Jeff Sessions has vowed to get the powerful gun control lobby out of the Department of Justice. President Ronald Reagan, a member of the NRA and staunch defender of the Second Amendment, opposed handgun control even after being critically wounded in a 1981 assassination attempt. He further unsuccessfully encouraged scrapping the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, according to the New York Times. Go, Mr. Trump. Go win one for the Gipper. Please share on Facebook and Twitter to support Donald Trump as he bravely defends the Second Amendment. What do you think about President Trump addressing the NRA? Scroll down to comment below. Alert, nuke-capable bombers spotted dangerously close to U.S. mainland. In a blatant provocation to the United States, Russian bombers on Monday flew so close to the coast of Alaska that the United States Air Force scrambled two F-22 stealth fighter jets to counter the threat, Fox News reported. Worst of all, the bombers that delivered the gross provocation were nuclear-capable, according to the report. The two Russian Tu-95 bombers flew roughly 280 miles southwest of Elmendorf Air Force Base, within the Air Defense Identification Zone of the United States, according to Fox. This is the first time that this has happened during the administration of President Donald Trump. In an interview with CNN's Wolf Blitzer, Representative Adam Kinzinger said the Russians sent the bombers as a reminder to the United States they're out there, in other words, a provocation to test the response of our forces. This was a show of force by the Russians to show us that they are still here, the Illinois Republican said. He said that the incident was an attempt to come up as close as they could to our international borders to see what our reaction would be. And of course, we were ready. Two F-22s and an E-3 airborne early warning plane were dispatched to deal with the Russian planes, and the bombers did eventually head back in the direction of Russia. With the two countries on edge over Syria, tensions between the United States and Russia are high, and relations are low. However, at a time when the United States is facing off with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, Russia should be not launching probes like this. This is not the time to shove a metaphorical alarm clock in the face of the sleeping giant. Please share this story on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you think about these Russian actions. How do you think the United States should respond to this Russian provocation? Scroll down to comment below.